You watch me. Follow my every move.
Michael.
I'm Aisha. I know your brother, Francis. Everyone knows him.
Where you going?
Just gonna meet some friends.
I don't want you running the street with no hooligans. You hear me, Francis? Take your brother with you.
Hey, don't make anybody disrespect you.
Michael, you still can't accept it. It's been 10 years.
Francis. Francis. Please help me reach him. You going to tell me where you're going?
Let go! No matter how poor you are, you can always show the world you're not a nobody. You never know when your break's coming.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am with a most spectacular guest here, a talented writer and producer, as well as director, Mr. Clement Virgo. Say hello, Clement.
Hi, that's a fantastic intro. That's the best intro I've had all day.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. And you're here to talk about your new picture, your new film, Brother. Can you tell the audience what it's about a little bit?
Brother is set in a place called Scarborough, which is outside of Toronto, Canada, and it's about a family that's from Trinidad, and there is a mystery in this family. One of the members, something happens to one of the members of the family, and the novel is about slowly uncovering the truth about what happened. So it's also about music. It's also about community, and ultimately, I think it's about love. It's written by, and the original novel is written by a great writer here in Canada named David Cheriandy.
I was going to ask you why you wanted to adapt this David Cheriandy book. Actually, that was great. That's a great answer, and it follows right into my next question, which was why did you want to adapt this?
You know, it's hard to know exactly why a piece of material or piece of art sort of resonates with you. I know that when I read the novel, I was very moved by it. I was profoundly moved by it, and it spoke to me on a visceral level. And this world I knew, this family felt like my own, and it felt like David had written the novel just for me. And so I wanted to do a cover version of this novel through film, and have my version of that story, and through the medium of film.
I love this, and one of my favorite parts about it is the young cast. You have a lot of young actors here who aren't household names, but they're probably going to be real soon. Can you talk about the premise of figuring out who goes where in this wonderful cast that you've assembled?
Well, there's our lead, Lamar Johnson. I think you're right. I think he's going to be a household name soon. He was in a series of the Last of Us, and he was recently nominated for an Emmy. He plays our lead, Michael, and he's from this world that the film depicts, and so he was a young up-and-coming actor that I really admired and loved. And Aaron Pierre, I think, has about 2 or 3 films coming out, in the next year or so. So I think we're going to see a lot of Aaron Pierre, who plays Francis, in the film. And Marsha Stephanie Blake is a veteran actor who's worked with everybody. And so from like Sam Jackson to Viola Davis to, so she's a New York actor from Jamaica originally, but lives in New York. And she plays a mom. And so with my core crew, core actors, I felt fortunate and blessed to have had them.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because we actually ran into Lamar a couple of years ago at Sundance for Run Sweetheart Run, a movie that
Yeah,
he was in, and nice fellow, nice young fellow,
yeah,
good kid.
yeah.
I love the film, and you talked about the book hitting you viscerally. Well, I got to tell you, you managed to make a film that will definitely hit audiences viscerally, because it hit me viscerally as well.
Wow.
It made me, it hit me on an emotional level, and it was nice to see something like that, because I don't get a lot of that out of cinema nowadays. A lot of it's, not so personal, and not as,
Yeah.
it's not as viewfinder. I can't put myself in the shoes of a lot of the characters in movies nowadays, but I could see myself in these characters.
Well, I mean, I think for me, the best art does that. It doesn't matter where it's from. I've never, I've been to Korea once, but I love when I see a great film from Korea, or a great film from France or wherever it may be. If it's specific, and what I was hoping to do with this film was to make it as specific as I could, make it as personal as I could, so that when you see it, hopefully it resonated, and you see your own humanity in these characters, and that's all we could ask for with art.
I think that you've definitely done that, and that's not an easy thing to do, honestly, especially because this was a project that you were really excited about based on what you were telling me, something you were really passionate about doing. That passion does dispel itself onto the screen and into every frame. So that's hard work by you, and I think it did pay dividends. Now,
Yeah,
we got
yeah. Go ahead.
no, we asked you some fun questions about your film, which by the way, I loved. Now I want to get to know you a little bit, Clement, because you've never been here with me. You never talked to me. So
No, I haven't.
can you tell us and my audience a little bit about people or artists or other people that do the same job as you, that inspire you to be the best director, best person, even the best man?
Jesus, in terms of film, I love movies, and I own a lot of them. I own a lot of Blu-rays and like
I see
DVDs,
them
and so
behind you.
so just people that pop into my head right now. I mean, I've been on a sort of Stanley Kubrick kick, maybe because I saw Oppenheimer and I went back and looked at Doctor Strangelove. I love Andrea Arnold's. Just filmmakers that I've sort of been looking at recently. I love Robert Bresson. I'm a huge sort of Spielberg fan. It's just like, there's the whole sort of gamut. Bong Joon-ho is I think one of the best filmmakers in the world right now. Lynn Ramsey is another filmmaker out of Europe that I love. So I run the whole spectrum from the I watched a King Vidor film yesterday. I try to watch at least one movie a day. Because I was shooting something, a TV show, and we went on strike, so I've had time to get back and sit in front of TCM and just turn it on, and whatever's on TCM, I just watched. And today I watched Maureen O'Hara and Lucia Ball in a film called Dance Girl Dance. It was musical. I loved it.
Yeah. She talks about that one in her book, Lucille Ball.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's a great film.
I love Maureen O'Hara, so I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
I'm an old school guy. I love TCM, so I love old school movies. I love that you did that. You're talking about that, because it's funny.
And that film was directed by a woman that I didn't. I was looking at it afterwards. It was Dorothy somebody. I forgot her name now, but it was. I was surprised. Oh, is that right? Dorothy
Dorothy
Asner.
Arzner. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and I've never seen any of her films, and it was great to see like 1940s that she was doing this great musical with all these women. It was great.
Yeah, you've never seen any of her movies. She's had a couple of
Maybe,
them that are pretty good.
yeah, like what? What have
Anybody's
I?
woman.
Maybe I've seen it.
Anybody's woman from
I've
1930.
I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty good. It's a Ruth Chatterton film. It's a throwback, man.
Is it? Yeah,
It's a throwback.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The Bride Who Wore Red is another one from the 30s that she
The
did.
the Bride Who Wore Red I've seen. But this one that I saw this morning on a TCM I've never saw. It was just like a great, fun musical, like romantic comedy where where like it's hard not to watch Lucille Ball dance and sing. She's so funny.
She's so funny, and I love that because this is what people don't understand. The appeal of an older film is to learn from it. What
Absolutely.
can we learn as modern movie viewers from these old films? I think people forget that, and it's funny because this leads me perfectly into my next question. And this is the hardest question I'm going to ask you today, Clement. You can only watch 2 movies for the rest of your life. What 2 and why?
I could only watch. Man, that's torture. Why only 2?
Yeah, just that's the rule we set. You get 2 and no more.
Well, I would want one that would make me laugh, and wherever I see Airplane, it makes me laugh. Leslie Nielsen makes me laugh, and I want to feel something and then I want to feel and be moved, and maybe 400 blows. So it's like a high,
Oh,
comedy,
yeah, those are
comedy,
two.
you know,
Yeah, those are 2 very
and,
different movies. One is so funny, and the other one's just like, whoa.
yeah. So it's just like the sort of the spectrum of the of feelings. So because if I could only watch 2 movies for the rest of my life, you might some days you might want to just laugh, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and who doesn't love a good laugh, right?
Yeah.
I love that. So I'm gonna have you elevator pitch me the film. So let's say an
Oh
audience
my
wants to see
God,
the film,
did I lose you?
and go ahead and tell.
Ask me that question. I think you broke up there for a second. Ask me that
Oh,
question again.
just you got 30 seconds to a minute to pitch the film to an audience. What would you say and why?
Um, something unspeakable happened to someone's brother, and he's trying to figure out emotionally what happened to his big brother.
I like that because
That's
that doesn't give us anything to work with, and that's totally fine.
because it's a mystery. It's a suspense mystery story.
You gave us absolutely nothing to work with. I love that answer. Now, if people want to go online and talk about the movie or give you kudos for making such a daring piece, where can they find you?
Well, here's the thing: is that I'm not on social media. I'm one of those like
Good.
Luddites who don't not because I think it's great, and I'm I just know myself. I would probably get addicted and be all days, be on TikTok, just scrolling like 3 hours would go by, and I would be like watching Cats or something. But I have a company called Conquering Line Pictures, and we have an Instagram page, and so whenever we make a film or we put out announcements and news on that. So, but personally, I don't have any, I guess formerly Twitter. I don't have any X or Instagram or Facebook. But I'm old fashioned where I like to talk to people, in
I love
person.
that. I love that because we love face to face interviews. They're a lot more fun, honestly.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
been absolutely awesome. I appreciate the time you spent with us here, Clement. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we let you go, bud?
Thank you thank you for the interview, and thank you for letting people know about our movie. Appreciate
Oh
it.
no, I can't wait for people to read our review of it and for people to watch this thing. Can you tell us when it comes out?
It comes out on Friday, August 4th.
Perfect. 3 days from now.
Yeah, 3 days from now.
Nice. Make sure you guys check out the movie. It's called Brother, and it's directed by our lovely friend here, Clement Virgo. Guys, that's it. That's been the interview. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
A pleasure.